This program is brought to you by the following sponsors.
What is going on, guys? Jay Shy here. It's been a while. It's been actually, I would say, a couple months. It's been like 4 months since I uploaded a video. It's been longer than that since I made a video with my face on it. It's just been a long time. It's just, I wanted to take a step back, I guess, and I really wanted, I didn't really have anything to say. So I figure I just kind of just take a step back, play some video games, and do other things. So, and I didn't want to make content that was like unnecessary, something I wasn't happy with. So I figure I wait until I had something to say, and I finally had something to say. So I figure I make a video about it. So I should probably start off by saying this. So you guys were 100% right. I'm not gonna say that you guys. It's one of those "I told you so" moments where you guys can say "I told you so" kind of thing. So I finally, I finally picked up a Switch about 3.5 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, I would say. I picked up a Switch. Finally got one. You guys were right. I know. You guys, I trashed the Switch. I wouldn't say I trashed it. I was just basically saying how I wasn't really much into this getting a Switch, only because it didn't have anything that I was interested in or anything like that. And I should probably start by explaining why I got the Switch, and then I can show you what I've picked up and what I like about it and what I dislike. So I picked up the Switch not too long ago, and I got it from Best Buy when it was like the last one in my area. I picked it up as soon as I saw it because people have been scalping Nintendo Switches. So I picked it up as soon as possible. And the reason why I picked it up is a lot of my friends were getting Nintendo Switches, and I couldn't still see the reason why I should get a Switch. So I started doing some more research, started looking into more games, and I think the last time I spoke about the Switch, I was looking at games that I wanted to play on the Switch, and I noticed it took me to get on Amazon.com. It took me until page 11 just to find one single game that I actually wanted to play, and that was a little disheartening. I mean, because I never said that the Switch was a terrible console. It's just a console I wasn't into because I'm not into Nintendo's first party stuff like at all. But one of the things that I would say drove me to get a Nintendo Switch was the fact that I like NIS America games. I like Nippon Ichi Software games. So I noticed that one of my favorite series, Disgaea 6, is a Nintendo Switch exclusive. And I was like, wow, whoa, okay, so you guys already got Shin Megami Tensei 5, and now you guys got Disgaea 6. So when I saw the Disgaea 6, that kind of prompted me to like look more into this. And the more I looked into the Nintendo Switch, I started to notice a pattern. And the pattern was everything that was on one of my favorite handhelds, which is the PlayStation Vita, is going to Nintendo Switch. So they're getting all my favorite first-person dungeon crawlers, they're getting all my favorite roguelike dungeon crawlers, they're getting almost everything that was supposed to be prompted for the PlayStation Vita is now being made for the Nintendo Switch. So it seems like the Nintendo Switch has replaced the PlayStation Vita. And I love the Vita. You guys know how much I love the Vita. I even still have my Vita TV and all that stuff. But I won't lie. It was the fact that Shin Megami Tensei 5. I'm not gonna say that was one of the games that prompted me to get a Switch. I mean, it helped, but it was mostly Disgaea 6. Mostly Disgaea 6, and I noticed that there's a lot of like shmups coming out on the Switch, and I was like, oh man, like almost everything that I really like. Oh, and the fact that I saw that Stranger of Sword City Revisited, and it's getting bundled with another game, Sapphire. I forgot what it's called, but it's also a first-person dungeon crawler that's Nippon Ichi Software is selling a limited edition of for the Switch, and I was like, I think it's time to get a Switch. Usually I never buy a new console unless there's 5 games that I want to play on it. And before there wasn't 5 games I wanted to play on it, but I saw a lot of games coming out that I did want to play. So without that being said, I can show you what I've picked up so far. I went ham in 3 weeks on buying video games. I went a little overboard. So I did get the Animal Crossing special edition Nintendo Switch. I don't have Animal Crossing. Don't care for the game Animal Crossing at all. But I do like the colors. So that's why I bought that, is because I dig the colors. The first game that I got here that I purchased was Crystal Crisis. It's basically Puzzle Fighter, and it's made by Nicalis. I like Nicalis games because their games they come with manuals, and they kind of they kind of incite my childhood joy, because most of their games always comes bundled with these cool little knickknacks or boxes, and they come with manuals. So I like the fact that they come with full art colored manuals. I would buy a game, and they're cheap. So I did buy Crystal Crisis. Crystal Crisis is Blade Strangers and Puzzle Fighter, Capcom's Puzzle Fighter from back in the day. That's basically what this is. I suck at puzzle games like these, but I bought that because I liked Blade Strangers. That's a game that I actually need to get for the Switch, even though I already own it on the PlayStation 4 and I own it on PC. I want it on the Switch too, because I think I'm gonna collect Nicalis games on the Nintendo Switch, because I like the Switch kind of their game boxes, long boxes set up. It's really cool. Next, I bought Sidus Alpha. Sidus Alpha is a rhythm game, a really, really good rhythm game. I haven't gotten into rhythm games since I've played a game called Arcea on mobile. I played that a while ago, and then I played another game like maybe 2 years ago called K-Shoot Mania. I was playing that just because I was trying to get into rhythm games, and this was a rhythm game that I really enjoy. I play this game a lot because I want to get better at it, and I feel like I can improve. Sidus Alpha was really hard to find. Within a 100 span radius around all my Best Buys, there was only 2 in my location, so I had to drive a little bit into another city just to get a copy of Sidus Alpha. Next is Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon. I got this because I wanted this game on the Nintendo Wii a couple of years ago, and I couldn't find it. So I ended up getting this version of the game because I was like, it's on the Switch, so why not? And another thing is I haven't opened it yet because I just got it in the mail. But this game is basically a dungeon crawler. It's a roguelike dungeon crawler, and you can't find this game, which is weird, in the States, apparently. Like, this game was never released in the States, but it has an English translation on it, and it was released overseas. So you have to import this game because you can't find it here. Even if you look on here, it doesn't have the the rating thing on it. So I don't know what's up with that, but I did pick up Chocobo Mystery Dungeon because that's a game that I really, really wanted to play. Next is I bought another copy of Deathmark because I saw that it was coming out on that it came out on the Switch. I have it on the PlayStation Vita, but I wanted to finish it on the Switch because I saw that all the other games are coming out on the Switch. And the fact that Experience is making another one intrigued me, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna play it on the Switch because it seems like it's coming out on the Switch anyway, so why not? Deathmark is a visual novel that I'm really, really into right now. Next is I bought Daemon X Machina. This is basically an Armored Core game. The original director of Armored Core worked on this. This is why I bought this game. This game is good. A lot of people don't like this game, but What it is kind of like a Armored Core meets Virtual On arcade light kind of game with some Monster Hunter kind of thing going on with it. But I like this game. I think this game is pretty good. A lot of people don't like this game, but I just feel like it's a arcade, uh, fun, just mission-based game. The fact that you get to build your own, mech. I think it's called an arsenal though in this game. I'm gonna say Gundam. It's a giant mech, but I think Daemon X Machina is a pretty cool game. It's worth it. It's worth $40, you know. I think I bought it for about $40 or $30. Next is Gigantic Army. Is it gigantic or is it gigantic? I don't know, because all these games can be pronounced in different ways, but Gigantic Army is basically a side-scrolling, reminiscent game of Cybernator for the Super Nintendo. It has another name on Super Nintendo, the Japanese name, and I forget. But this is a spiritual successor to Cybernator, or what's that game on the PS4 that got a remake? I forget, but it's like that. It's a side-scrolling mech game where you shoot. Assault Suit Leonos. That's what it's called. Assault Suit Leonos. That's what this basically is. I bought this just because, one, I like Assault Suit Leonos. I'm a fan of Pixel Heart now. And the fact that Josh Prod worked on this, which is, I'm a big fan of Josh Prod stuff, because I have a lot of Josh Prod games. That's another reason why I bought this. So, this game is hard though. This is one of those Super Nintendo-like games where you actually have to practice the game in order to get through it to the next level. Next, I got a copy of Lapras Cross Labyrinth. Lapras Cross Labyrinth is a game that I've wanted to play since its inception. Since it first came out, I wanted to play that game. But the PS4 version was just so expensive, and it only comes out in a limited edition. I was just scrolling through Amazon one day, and I noticed that Lapras Cross Labyrinth had a Switch version that no one cared about, so I bought it. And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna get that. Lapras Cross Labyrinth is like a dungeon crawler game, but it's side-scrolling, 2D platformer. But it has like neural overload in your eyeballs, because everything you do in the game, explosion of crystals and gems and points just explode onto the screen. If you watch gameplay on this game, that's basically what it is. And it's just a neural overload in your eyes. It's just so much stuff happening, and it just rewards you with so much flashy stuff that's what keeps me playing the game. And it's a dungeon crawler, so why not? Next is another game I haven't opened yet because I want to finish the first one, but I bought it anyway, which is NG, which is the second volume of Deathmark. This is the sequel to Deathmark. This is volume 2. I bought this because I love Deathmark so much, so I was like, I'm getting the sequel anyway, and the fact that a third volume was announced in the Japanese Kickstarter, that their experience is working on a third game, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get no good, because that's what NG means, no good. And it looks very good. Like, the cover is amazing. So I picked up NG because I want to play it. Next, I bought Trini 1 and 2 because I like this Gaia. And it's a platformer. But the weird thing about this game is that it looks like a PS1 game. So I bought this game because it reminded me of a PS1 game called Tomba. So I bought this just because of that, and because it's Trini in his own series, because I like Trinis. Just weird like that. Next is another Nipponichi software game, which is Void Terrarium. Void Terrarium is the game I've been playing the most. This is a roguelike dungeon crawler. It's kind of like the Chocobo Mystery Dungeon game, but it has like a weird pet mechanic in it where you take care of a little girl. This game is fantastic. I love this game. It's really good. It's really difficult. It's really hard, but it's very, very good. But I like, you guys know me. I love my dungeon crawlers. But the thing that gravitated me towards this game is because it kind of reminds me of the same art style of Hotaro no Neki and Yomawari. So I bought this game because of that. I love that art style. I think it's the same guy actually who did Hotaru no Miki, but I'm not entirely sure. But that's one of the reasons why I got this game. I didn't even know what kind of game it was. I just know that I like this art style and I like Nipponichi software games. So I just bought it anyway, before I even knew. The other game that I got was another Nicalis game, which is Remy Lore. Uh, I didn't know exactly what this was when I bought it. I just knew it was a Nicalis game and I liked this cover. So when I purchased it, behold, to my surprise, it has some cool stuff in it too. It actually has like this nice manual in it that's full color. Oh wait, is it the fold out manual? Yeah, it's the fold out manual, but it's, it's full color. But I when I bought this game, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But it's a two-player um, it's a two-player beat 'em up game actually. It's a beat 'em up game, but it kind of looks like Diablo almost, but it's more like reminiscent to me of like a Brave Fencer Musashi almost, slash Diablo with combos and stuff like that. It took me by surprise because you never would have thought that this was a two-player beat 'em up, but it is. It is a two-player beat 'em up, which is hilarious. Next I got on release is Sakuna Rice and Ruin. Rice of Ruin, or is it Rice and Ruin? Rice and Ruin. Of Rice and Ruin. I did get Sakuna. I played this game for about an hour. I enjoy it so far. It has farming mechanics. I'm not a guy who's into like, rune factory kind of things, or farming sims, but it does have a farming mechanic. The farming mechanic basically makes her stronger, the main character protagonist, but it also plays kind of like what's that game, Miramasa, the Demon Blade? It kind of plays like that to me, like a 2D, hack and slash brawler almost, but then it has like these other elements to it where it has RPG elements, and it's very intriguing. So I purchased it. Why not? And the last game that I got was the same guys who create Sidus Alpha. I bought Voice. This is another rhythm game. I can't speak too high on this, only because I'm still playing Sidus and I like Sidus. This one's good. Visually, it's beautiful. The music so far, I'm not so much into. I'm not saying that it's bad, but the music is just vastly different from what Sidus has to offer, which makes sense. It's a different game. But I like Sidus's like kind of pointing all over the screen kind of thing. With this game, it's more like there's a line at the bottom of the screen and you kind of have to wait until the symbols drag there, but they move around and it's really hard to follow, and I like that part. But the music so far I'm not really into, but it's not a bad game. Overall it's a pretty good game. But anyway, those are all the games that I have gotten in the past 3 weeks for my Nintendo Switch. It's been quite a ride. I do enjoy the Nintendo Switch so far. One of the things that I don't do is I don't use my Nintendo Switch for portable stuff. It just stays at home, and it stays docked all the time. I play everything on my television except for Voice and Sidus. That's when I play it in my lap because I don't want to use the controller to play a rhythm game. That's lame. But my biggest complaint about the Switch is you can see the difference between what's the guy's name that passed away, that was taking the helm of the Wii U, compared to the new guy who's in the position after he died. You can see the difference of love in the architecture in like the screen is what I mean. With the Wii and the Wii U, there was a joy even when you scroll through the menus. There's music, whenever you move the screen on the Wii U, things would jiggle and they'll have like character. With the Switch, everything is just a mute dull screen. Like there is no happiness, no joy, no none of that stuff. And you can tell that because that's probably, helmed by the guy who's in charge now. It's all business for him. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, if business is picking up because there's a lot of cool games that I'm planning to get. I'm planning pre-order. The Disgaea 6, R-Type, Final 2. I'm gonna get that on the Switch. I'm gonna get the revision of Stranger in Sword City because I love Stranger in Sword City. Why not? All these games that I'm going to pre-order. But you can tell. You can really tell. I forgot his name. But the guy who died, man, he brought joy to the consoles. But joy doesn't, I guess, bring business. I don't know, because it's so dull to look at. Like, I hate going into the eShop because it's so dull. It's just menus. It's just going down the menus, and there's just screens here and there. The Wii U and the Wii, whenever you went into the eShop, there was music. There was, like, it made different noises, and, it was just fun to scroll through. Now, I don't even want to be in there. I'm just going to buy these games physically anyway, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, I will say this again, you guys were 100% right. I am happy that I got a Switch now. I don't think I would be as happy before because there was nothing I really wanted to play. But now I got all these games that I do want to play. A lot of these games are on the PS4, like Sakuna, Void Terrarium, Lapras Cross Labyrinth. A lot of those games are on the PS4. But I think I'm picking and choosing right now. There are certain games that I want on the Switch, and there are certain games I want on the PS4. I don't think I'm going to get a PS5 until I see, 5 games that really grab my attention. So, but until then, I'm happy with the Switch. And I look forward to, I'm looking forward to, what is it? Bravely Default 2. I'm looking forward to, what's that other game? I'm looking for SMT5. I'm looking forward to, SMT5 looks like it's going to, I'm not so big on the design aspect of the game right now, but I'll wait and see. So until then, this is the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys the next time I decide to make another video and I have something to say. Alright guys, see you later.